All right, our next inductee, we're going to football. From 1988 to 1991, Jay Leeuwenburg. A three-year starter in Letterman at center, 89 to 91, under then-head coach Bill McCartney. The fourth Buffalo at the time to earn unanimous first-team All-America honors, doing so as a senior in 1991. A two-time first-team All-Big 8 selection as a junior and a senior, the first Buff center to ever be honored twice with All-League honors. He was one of a handful of people who knew it was the fifth down at Missouri in 1990, he claims. The story has it Bill McCartney said, "Jay, you're wrong, shut up." But I'm not sure if that's true. That's just legend. What's that? It was close? Yeah. Maybe added a word or two there. One of a few offensive linemen selected as the Collegiate Athlete of the Year by the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, rewarded for his senior season in 1991. He's also been an inspiration, and he's talked a lot about this nationally to many, as he's been a type 1 diabetic since the 8th grade. He was a 9th-round pick by the Kansas City Chiefs in the 1992 NFL Draft, 244th overall. Jay would play in 137 career NFL games for 4 teams. He returned to Colorado after his retirement from pro football, spending a couple of years as the color analyst along with Larry Zimmer for KOA Radio on the broadcast. He's currently a 3rd-grade teacher at the Colorado Academy in Denver and an assistant coach at Arapahoe High School. And now he can add to his resume Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Leeuwenburg. By the way, check out the shoes he's wearing tonight, will you? Check out those shoes.
My daughter got them for me. She's right over there. So I'm going to echo a lot of thanks from what I've heard from a lot of people tonight, but I've got a lot of pride being a Buff, a lot of pride and a lot of help from a lot of people in my football life, but I want to start with what I'm so proud of now is my family. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't by their support, and I couldn't have done it alone. And so I have my mom and my dad here who have always been by my side. I've got 3 of my 4 daughters here, and I've got my brother and his wife here. So they have been instrumental in making sure that I can get to this stage of my life, and I cannot thank them enough. My oldest daughter, a CU Buff grad, just passed the bar, and so congratulations. I've got my second daughter here who isn't a Buff, but that's okay, is working in construction and a civil engineer in Reno, Nevada. And then I've got twins that are freshmen in college. One is also a Buff, and she's here, Logan. And the leader of our family and the one that holds us all together that I owe everything to and truly has saved my life. I love you very much, my wife, Karen. So to the football kind of analogy is, she's the Darian Hagan of my family, that she's the one that gets all the credit and all the awards and all the honors, and deserving, but I couldn't have done this and I wouldn't get any of this credit if I don't think about the teammates that I've had and the coaches that I had that have helped me. That you just go through the list of my teammates already in the Hall of Fame. I see Joe Garton here. Congrats. I can't imagine being the new lineman, this young kid that, well, he works hard, but he's like this really tiny kid that you had Mark Vanderpool, you had Joe Garton, then you had me, and then you had Mark Vanderpool, and then you had Darren Muhlenberg. And those guys were huge and old and mean. And I was the new kid. I remember that there was a Sports Illustrated article about how big we were, and they're like, damn, why couldn't you be bigger? And and they were huge, but they also showed the way. But then we had Sal, who's been mentioned, and then this new kid, Darian, that comes in, who's just phenomenal. We had Eric Bieniemy, we had Michael Pritchard, we had an amazing offense, but then you look on the defensive side, and half of them are in the Hall of Fame also. That when the offense didn't show up, then clearly our defense did. Having to go against Chad Brown, Greg Biekert, Joel Steed, Alfred Canavas. And that's not even talking about those fast guys in the backfield that, God, if I ever had to go try to get them, they were amazing. In our coaching staff, that one of my favorite stories was well after I was retired, that Gary Barnett, in recruiting me, he was recruiting the kid that I was playing against in a high school playoff game. And a lot of people don't know this, but I missed 6 games my senior year of my high school because I got an infection in my foot. So I only played 7 games my senior year of high school. And so, I don't know, Rick, but Gary takes the credit. Maybe you had a little something to do with it, but took a chance on me because I finally got to play in the playoffs, and I played really well against this other guy who actually ended up playing in the pros and going to Missouri and was a great player, but I had a great game. And Gary came back here, and the story, as I understand it, said, yeah, that guy that I was out there recruiting is pretty good, but the guy that he was playing against is really good too. And that's how I got on the board here, that how I got an opportunity. And so I'm thankful. Things just happen for a reason. And the story on the 5th down is that I came over and I said, Mac, we can't do that. And he said, listen, I'm the coach and I coach, and you're the player and you play. This is what we're doing. I can't ever imagine Mac ever saying shut up to anybody. I mean, that's just not in his character. But just thinking about all the crazy things, that all the amazing things that I was able to be a part of here. The tie to start the season, the 11-0, and then being so devastated to lose that Orange Bowl, coming back and, like I said, starting with a tie, a loss, and then a 5th down. To think that we could have, as a team, not fallen apart, stayed together through the leadership of our team, and we just grinded it out. And we knew that we were a great team. And as I mentioned, who wins 10-9 on a blocked extra point? All of those things had to happen at the right time, and through the right leadership and the right chemistry. That I completely echo the comments about how Sal brought this team together. And through tragedy, we were able to become young men. That was the first time I'd ever experienced anything about death close to me. And it was a really, really scary time, but it was also humbling and made you realize that there's a lot more than just football in your life. And so that helped mold us as men and has carried through my entire life. And I owe that to the coaching staff, I owe that to my teammates, and I owe that to the university. And so I have a very special place in my heart for the university and for everyone that's associated with it. And I'm always welcome, and I love this place. And I'll keep coming back to this place as long as you guys will keep having me. Coach Sanford, we want to get back to greatness, and we expect it. So we're going to be tough, but we know that we can do it. Rick, I appreciate your leadership, and I know that you want that as much as anybody in this room. And know that every alum, every player, that's all we want. And we're here to support you, and we really appreciate, and I appreciate this honor and being recognized. So thank you very much.